Now we turn to a football writer for analysis and insight into last night's game and South Korea's games to come. We have Steve Han, a journalist who's been tracking the South Korean national team and the World Cup in general. Good afternoon for you.
Thanks for having me again. How's it going?
Good, good. Well, what were some main takeaways from this game, considering it's the first match of the tournament?
Let's be honest. This isn't the result that Korea really wanted, because ultimately we all wanted them to win. That being said, though, the performance today showed that Korea can compete and maybe even step up to the level of a team like Uruguay, a team that when and if they're in form, this is a team capable of reaching the quarterfinals of the World Cup or even higher. And I think what we learned today is that the head coach, Paulo Bento, who has, long been criticized for his stubborn approach of getting Korea to play out of the back, he's more flexible than what we thought after all. Korea played a total of 10 switch passes in this game, and these are passes that travel over a distance of at least 35 meters from one side of the pitch to the other. And every team at the World Cup has now played one game, and Korea is the only team to have hit double digits in playing these switch passes. So if there's anything that this game has shown, first and foremost, it's that Paulo Bento is not obsessed with playing these short, cute little passes out of the back like so many of us accused him of over the past 4 years.
Right, and I want to build on from that. There's a lot of switch passes, but the South Korean team didn't have any attempt on goal. What do you take away from that?
Yeah, no, it's one of those situations where Korea, when you look at their overall performance, they perform quite well. But it's just that, from them building their attack from defense into the attacking third, it worked quite well. But we all know that, Son Heung-min was fighting off some rust because he hasn't played a competitive game in over 3 weeks. And also a similar situation with the striker Hwang Hee-jo, who was struggling today because he's been struggling for form for a few months now. So Korea lacked a bit of a cutting edge in the final third. But at the same time, the way they played from bottom to top, I don't think Bento could have asked for more from his defenders and also his midfielders.
Right, now let's move on and talk about the games to come. What will South Korea need to focus on in preparation for the match against Ghana on Monday?
For all the praise that Korea is getting right now for their, above average performance against a better team, I guess, the game against Ghana will be completely different. Not because Ghana is an overall better team than Uruguay, but because they're a different style of team altogether. We saw today that the Uruguayan footballers are physical, they're tactically savvy, and they're extremely disciplined. But, Ghana's a different opposition in the sense that they may be just as physical as Uruguay, but while they may not be as tactically savvy as Uruguay, they're faster, and they also take more risks going forward in the attack. So they lost 3-2 to Portugal today, and we saw that Portugal was able to get in behind their defense to attack them in transition. So if Korea can utilize Son Heung-min as well as they did today, and if Son Heung-min comes with the cutting edge that he didn't have today, I kind of like Korea's chances to win this game.
Right, and also let's talk about the other Group H game. What are South Korea's chances of advancing to the next round at this point, with Portugal beating Ghana 3-2?
I think it's all going to come down to whether or not Korea can beat Ghana, because this game against Ghana, it would have been a must-win game for Korea even if they had beaten Uruguay today. So now that they only bagged a point against Uruguay today, this game against Ghana is more or less a do-or-die contest for them. And, that being said, if they beat Ghana, like many of us expect them to, Korea would be putting themselves in a perfect position going into that game against Portugal. It would be a dream scenario for Korea if they can beat Ghana, and on the same day, if Portugal can beat Uruguay. That would be a perfect scenario for Korea, as that would mean that they could even lose to Portugal in the last group game of the group stage and still have the chance to advance to the last 16.
Right. Well, thank you so much for your analysis, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.